before we go, I would like to ask you this. I see you in court. I see videos of you in court every time Nnamdi Kanu appears in court. And his case has lingered for too long and so long. Shouldn't we be talking about a political solution now to resolve all of these and probably give closure to the people of the Southeast and maybe peace too?
You know, one thing I find very difficult to understand is why, no matter who is occupying position of power, something is always absent all the time. And that's part of why we are discussing this river state. It's like there's absence of common sense on the corridors of power. I think because there are just too many sycophants in Nigeria. The Kanu situation didn't need to last one day longer than the day Buhari left. Kanu was Buhari's personal prisoner because those people, the Buharis of this world, believe that Nigeria is a real estate that must be held together, it must be united. But do we think that people who claim they have broad minds about what Nigeria is, the diversity of Nigeria, the crisis, is the first person they would have done, the first person they would have let go is Nnamdi Kanu? Because didn't we let go Sunday Igboho? Have we burned down Yoruba land? Before Buhari left, I was one of the people fighting for Ezaki. The arguments by those who were opposed to his release was that if he comes, he will burn down Kaduna. Ezaki's been out of jail now for how long? He doesn't even have time for Nigeria. He has become an international ambassador for Nigeria. He goes to Lebanon, Iran. I've seen him in Iraq. He has not had time to even rebuild his area base. That shows to you that what of some of the fear-mongering that happens on the corridors of power is driven by unreasonableness, and that is why I just want to say, look, eventually they are going to resolve the issue politically. Because the political issue is a self-determination matter. There's no court of law that can resolve Kanu's matter. Even if he's found guilty by their own standards, it's still going to be he's a political prisoner forever.
Some people have also said that there are also some political interests, even from his region, who do not want him to be free.
We know that because I was earlier in, I think, 2023, I was part of some conversation to release him. And what came straight was from Imo State, that he can't be released before the election in Imo State, that he will affect them. And after that, everybody kept coming and said, don't release him, and here we are.
All right, we have to go now. I must thank you very much for your time on the program. Omoyele Shore.
All right, so on daily basis, we keep hearing that Nnamdi Kanu's case is a political case. Soludo of Anambra State has come out and said, it's a political case. Alex Oti of Abia State, their governor, has come out and said, Nnamdi Kanu's case, it's a political case. And that reminds me, it's been long we had any update from Hope Uzodinma of Imo State. Or is Hope not the governor again? Honestly speaking, for like 2 months now, we've not gotten any information from Imo State. Anyway, don't worry. After this video, I'll rush down to my website to see what is happening in Imo State, and I'll bring you updates. Because you don't think we will hear from Hope Uzodinma. So, as I was saying, all these governors, they will come out, and some of our senators and House of Assembly members, they will come out and tell us that Nnamdi Kanu case is a political case. But from month to month, they go to court. Nnamdi Kanu go to court. At the end of the day, they will just talk one antenna or the other, and they will postpone it to another month. And that is how they keep going. But my question is, I beg, shall they know they solve political case? No, I don't understand. It's a political case, it's a political issue. They know they solve political issue. That's what I'm asking. Sunday Igboho, the one that is agitating for Yoruba Nation, was arrested in Benin Republic here. Nobody, no Yoruba leader or Yoruba governor or any of them came out on national TV to say it's a political case. Nobody said it. They walk on the ground. And before 1 month or 1 month plus, Sunday Igboho was released. Nobody came out on social media and was ranting. It's a political case. How many times did they even go to court? Am I sure they went to court? I can't remember. But silently, they settled the issue of Sunday Igboho, and today Sunday Igboho is in UK, enjoying with his family. But in our own case, a governor, every month, every week, he will call the media people. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu case is a political case. If it is a political case, are you telling us that political case cannot be solved? If it is a political case, you as a governor, what are you doing? Are you not a politician? In fact, you are the main man, you are the main political person we know in your state as a governor. What are you doing? Are you telling me now that if the 5 eastern governors come together now strongly, go and meet Tinubu in Aso Rock and tell him, Oga, please, we need you to release this man, because if you release him, it's going to bring peace and stability and it's going to bring growth in our states. Are you telling me that Tinubu is going to refuse? Hey, funny people everywhere. Every day, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu case is a political case. They don't solve political case. And of course, you heard Sowore say it, that some of them don't even want him to be released because of their own personal interest. But they will come out on TV and tell you it's a political case. So they know they solve political case. Now waiting at the ask. So political case, they know they solve them. Please, just take a little time. Watch this video and see what I'm telling you. Because I tell you on this channel, I dey show you, if I dey tell you, I dey give you example. Please watch this video and then drop your comment on the comment section what you think. Political case, political, so they know they solve political case. Funny people. So you are telling us now that this court that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going is just a waste of time. Let them stop going to court now and then face it politically. Please watch this video, drop your comment on the comment section. And if this is your first time coming across my channel, please do well to subscribe. Watch this.
Of the case. And what I've said is that this case can never be resolved in a court of law. There's no court of law in Nigeria that can resolve the issue. It is not a matter for the courts. The courts were only brought in to come and create the necessary excuse to keep Nnamdi Kanu perpetually detained by the Nigerian government. No judge has ever prevailed in social movement matters of this scale. It is just like saying that, oh, it was a court of law that ended discrimination in America. No, it was done by people putting their boots on the ground. Of course, when they see that people are determined and serious, the court of laws will then act as ancillaries on the side to lend credence and legality to actions of people who are fighting for freedom. That's what nobody wants to accept about the Nnamdi Kanu's case. I was the one who told Aloy Jimako at the car park of the Federal High Court in Abuja. I'm talking about this 2024, when the Supreme Court sent the case back to the Federal High Court. The Supreme Court had already said that the bill is existing. Why are you applying for another bill? But it wasn't him that was the problem. It's that the Nigerian state knew what was happening and knew that they had no case. I've heard people use my release or removal, my own case ending as an excuse. No, I also said, if you remember from day one in court, I told the judge that there's no case, you're just wasting your time. Sure. I told all the judges that I appeared before in my case, I told them they're wasting their time until it became clear. And let me make a revelation to you today that I have also applied, and I know you knew this, to see Nnamdi Kanu 3 different times. 2 different times I drove to the DSS, stayed there for several hours. They pretended I said they were going to make it happen. It never happened. When Tinubu came into office, I also reached out to people who I thought were sensible to let them understand that you cannot prevail against the Biafran struggle. The only solution is political. You can go and write this down any day. So let's have this resolved now. And you know what they told me at that time? The person who I spoke to said, why are you not talking about your case? And you are putting Kanu's case, you are stuck in Nigeria. I said, I don't have a case. That's what I told the person. I said, I do not have a case. But it was from there that I knew that the Southeastern political elites were not interested in Nnamdi's freedom. Because when that conversation that I talked to you about was supposed to kick off, they said, no, don't be in a hurry. We want to do more election first. If you release Nnamdi Kanu, we are going to lose anymore. APC will lose. That was the first political consideration that led to the suspension of Nnamdi Kanu's release or conversation about his release. Politics. And it was championed by the Southeastern political elite. And I have spoken about this publicly. And nobody has denied it. In fact, it was after I spoke about it that they went and sat together and had a charade. I don't know in which of the states. All the governors saying they are going to pursue Nnamdi Kanu's release. All the governors. They never did anything about it as a group. Because they are half-hearted interested in his release. And Tinubu is enjoying it. Because the chaos that is happening in the Southeast gives them the opportunity to be doing what they want to do in Nigeria. And I have said it publicly and openly all the time. The Nigerian political elite as a whole love it when there's chaos everywhere. Because the more chaos there is, the less space they have to govern. You imagine now they don't have to construct roads anywhere in the Southeast. Because they'll tell you that IPOB is making it impossible. IPOB is making it impossible to invest in education. The only thing they have to do is just invest money in security. And you know, that's the most opaque way of spending money in Nigeria, security. So just be throwing money. That's the easiest way to steal, is to claim that you are using money to fight some enemy. But they would have cost Nigeria less, both in human and financial resources, if Nnamdi Kanu had released, not even that thing over years ago. But that is why I come to the position that he's been held hostage for Nigeria's unity. And that it has to do with the way Nigeria has permanently, consistently, and doggedly suppressed the Igbos since the end of the war in 1970. And it goes back to the reason I told you. That's the reason I met Nnamdi Kanu. One of the reasons, apart from several other reasons, that I wasn't one of the people who fought the war. I cannot continue to fight the war. Because I was born in 1971 after the war. I don't want to continue a war started by foolish people. Are you listening to me? And has destroyed an entire generation of presidents. And the unity of Nigeria that they claim they're holding Nnamdi Kanu for, that unity has fallen apart more since they have been holding Nnamdi Kanu. More and more Nigerians no longer believe in Nigeria because of the way Nigeria is handling the case. And they're not going to learn. Trust me. They're not going to learn. Except when it is clear that everybody is united to fight these people. Because at the end of the day, and it's very important, is to understand that there's a central political elite in Nigeria that's holding Nigeria to ransom. And that takes us back to what happened when I met Nnamdi Kanu, which you remember. I told him, brother, let's unite. Yes, I love your struggle in the Southeast, but how about we do it together? Let's have a revolution once and for all. And you'll be surprised that we don't need a Biafran nation anymore, because why do you want Biafra? It's not justice. It's not economic development, social development. It's not decentralization, restructuring, and all the things you're talking about. You remember I said that to him. And one of the things he said to me when we were done with that conversation, you remember I said, I'm going to Nigeria. I said, are you mad? Go to Nigeria. You see, these people just killed 28 people in front of my house. They're going to kill you, especially now that you have met with me. Mm-hmm. And I said, it's fine. If it is death, there's nothing anybody can do to stop it, including the people who want to kill you. They too will die someday. Some of them will even die before you die.
Sure.
Yes. So we don't have control over death, but we have control over our conscience as long as we're alive. And we must work together.
Mr. President, sorry I'm cutting you short.
Yes.
You had a meeting with Nnamdi Kanu, and that sparked, in fact,
New York.
Yeah, I think you got arrested after that meeting. People would say, you people are not fighting the same cause. You are fighting to be the president of the country. He is fighting to divide the country.
Yes.
People would say, why would you be seen in such a meeting? Would you like to clear that?
Anybody that lacks any sense of consciousness would ignore social movements. That is the problem with Nigerian leadership. You cannot have a country in which there are 251 tribes or languages, and one big section says we are not satisfied with here, and you don't talk to them, you don't understand them, then you are not a leader of that country. The reason I met him was to understand first what his struggle was about, which I knew already. And secondly, to also advise him on the way that I think we could all work together. And thirdly, to send a message to the Nigerian people that we can walk through our differences, even at these levels. And I was surprised that, contrary to what some people are saying, he did not want Nigeria to break up. He wanted a Nigeria where the Igbo man can survive. But for an Igbo man to survive in Nigeria, as it is currently put together, Nigeria must break.
Wait, the meeting you had with Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
You are telling us now that Nnamdi Kanu, from what you understand from the meeting with him, he does not want Nigeria to break, to divide.
No, he said clearly that it is too late for Nigeria to come together. But he gave his conditions. We live streamed the meeting now. It's online.
Okay.
And part of it was live streamed. Some of them were private. But he said that he feels that if Nigeria were to respect certain protocols, including a referendum inserted in the constitution, and he still says it even now in court, that if he's released, he will go back and end the bloodshed in that part, and that a conversation can, he says that in every court appearance, that he's being held is not helping the opportunity to have a conversation about whatever it is, the unity you are begging for. But you see, Nigeria has a problem. And I've always said, Nigeria has an Igbo problem. And I'm not saying it to please people who are known as Igbos. But the moment they decided to take the action they took in 1967 to 1970, the war, Nigeria, having won that war in their eyes, never forgave the Igbos. That is the reality. And if I were to be president of Nigeria today, the first thing I would do is to head to the Southeast and apologize to them for the war. Part of it is that I'd never participated in. And I cannot continue to fight a war that I did not engage in. And then ask them, what do we want?
So are you saying that the federal government has, like even before successive governments, they've always had this anger against the Igbos?
There is a secret memo. I don't know where it is located in government that whenever we want to take charge in this country, be careful of the Igbo. Don't give them position. Don't give them opportunity. Otherwise, they will overrun. It is a well-known fact. Even our parents, tell us, Igbo. You understand? Some of them even say it unconsciously. They even say it on radio shows in this country.
All right. So you have seen it. What do you think? I'm still asking. They know the solve political case. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video. God bless you.